So welcome back to Wheels of Madness RC. Today we're going to be taking a look at something a little more different as we wait for parts for Lil Red and the tutorial truck. So I've been neglecting an RC lately, and that happens to be my Trx4m Bronco. We had a fun day at the lake. So my axle fell out due to some fishing line. Here's actually that video now, if I can find it. So we're gonna restore this today because I miss it. It needs love. And as you can see, yeah. So, yep, we're gonna restore this today. So we can get right into it. So first thing I want to look at is how to clean this up and get this fishing line out. And it looks like I'm going to have to take all the wheels off, which will be, where can I put my body? That'll work. So that's going to be the 5.0 screw driver from Endura. Now this was a good vehicle. I built this to be reliable, and that didn't work out because, you know, I built it to be reliable, so that means it immediately broke the diff gears. And then this happens. So I'm just taking out the hub silver locker thing, whatever you want to call them, the hub pin, and then the wheel nut to take the wheels off. I really don't need to mess with the front because this is not where the situation is, but it would just be better to clean it up. It's the only thing I'm going to do. So, yeah, this thing had some fun. All right, now let's get this rear figured out. Man, that fishing line got tangled. I did bring scissors just in case, so if I need them. This originally had an MB100 in it. I'm not putting that back in here. I will be going with the stock Traxxas ECM. Only because the MB100 kind of got put in another project, and then that project blew the ESC. Well, I gotta be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this hook off. I don't want to be playing around with that. Can we take... So it looks like it didn't snap or nothing, but this got tangled pretty good. There we go. So yep, the axle just came right out, which I've never seen before. And then we can get this out of here, and that out of here, and the rest of this out of here. Wow, look at the mess it made. When you go to the lake, guys, please, if you're fishing, pick up after yourselves. Try and keep the lakes nice. We don't want this to happen, especially to fellow RCers or even dogs, because there was a hook in it. And that is very dangerous. So, I think I'm going to see if I can just slide this back in. And I'm going to use the wrong tool for this purpose, but, you know. Alright, and now I'm going to remove those screws. These two on the hub. And I'm hoping it will just slide right back in and we can lock it down. I guess I should take the wheel off this one. There we go. It'll make it easier to get to those 2 bolts. And I don't know how, but we didn't lose the bearing. So that's really nice. Okay. It's been a while since I took apart a axle. So we can just see if this slides right back in, which it does. Sweet. And then put the bearing back in. Sweet, it went right back in there. And now we can take the screws that we used and just screw them back in the axle. And I guess that really acts like a hold towards the bearing inside. This thing's gonna have bearings. I did a full bearing kit on this Bronco when I built it. Sweet. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and install my ECM. It does have this on it because it came out of another project. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it. It's not gonna be pretty. None of this about this build is gonna be pretty when it comes to electronics. Man, I need pliers. Sweet. And it didn't leave any residue. That's really nice for $6 on Amazon for these. All right. I'm going to leave that on because why not? I might potentially put another MB100 back in this. So we'll just go ahead and remove the 2 screws holding the ECM in. And seeing how long these bolts are, that's why I'm also leaving the Velcro on it. Now, just line this up right there. And that should screw it in. And we can slide this one in, which will line it up. So we can screw this in too. And for this system that this Bronco is running, it's just a simple Endura 180 with an Endura acrylic transmission. It has brass frame rails, stock shocks, built axles, so there's metal gears in it with metal transmission or metal diff covers. It has metal bumper, front and rear TCRC bumpers, Endura skid plates, and Endura metal drive shafts with an Endura 7 kg servo with the metal servo mount. And I did these upgrades not for crawling, but for a simple trail truck. I didn't want anything crazy. I wasn't crawling with this thing, even though it does really well. I just don't think there's a reason for it to go completely wild with this. You know? So now that we got that back on, we can go ahead and plug all of our electronics back in. So we'll put the motor wire here. Oh, backwards. Possibly. There we go. And then we can plug our servo wire back in. So this originally had a double-decker battery tray, but I need to put a stock battery tray in that, and I forgot to grab it, so I will be right back. Alrighty, I'm back and I got my battery tray. You also may notice that there's 2 screws missing in my transmission. One here and one there. Not too worried about it right now. I am going to be getting another double-decker tray to put in this Bronco again for when I switch it back to an MN80 or MB100. So we'll just go ahead and get this installed real quick. Man, I guess I should have never plugged in these wires. It's all right. Oh, these brass frame rails are tight. There we go. It was a tight fit, but it slid right into place. No, these are not the screws for the battery tray, but they work, so I am not going to question it, especially with me changing it soon. In the light work I'm doing with this RC as trail truck, not a full-on crawler, those 2 screws holding that transmission tray in will be just fine. If anything, if there's an issue and you don't have screws, I would just take the one, there's 2 up front, so I'd just take this one and put it back here, and that would help give it some balance. All right, put the battery strap on, and then we can go ahead, and now we can officially plug these back in. So motor here, servo here. I don't know if that's facing the correct way. The only true way to find out is to turn on the transmitter and RC, and you'll be able to see if it works. If not, then just flip it around. Yes, this thing's extremely dirty. I'm just lazy. But I highly recommend cleaning your RCs before working on them and after every trip to give it better life. So we'll go ahead and put in our hub locks, then our hubs, then our wheels, and we'll go ahead and put our wheel nut on. Again, that's going to be a 5/0. Same for the other side. Hub pin, if I can ever get it. Then our hub adapter. Then our wheel. And then our wheel nut. Okay. I guess no wheel nut because it just flew away. Where'd it go? There you are. All right. it's on there. Cool. We have my Bronco back. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this if I can. What is this, a 5.0? Nope. It's going to be a 4.0. Nope, I'm going to need another for this side, and I don't know if I have one, so I will deal with that later. But we've officially put my Bronco back together. I also have a lighting kit inside this Bronco. You see the fancy light back here? What was that? Oh, one of the bumper things flew out. I'm sure it's fine. Yep, as you can see, it goes right here. There's one missing. It holds on the metal plate right here. There's no screw. I'm sure it's fine. I have screws extra, as you can see right here. I have extra screws, so you know what? It's fine. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just happy to have my Bronco back. And she's dirty. So I'm going to give her a bath. I hope you enjoyed this nice little restoration video. Figured I'd bring you guys along for the journey as I figured out what was going on and what happened. Well, obviously you saw what happened. But I hope you enjoyed it at least. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you liked, give me a comment down below. Or give me a like. And then if you have any advice or if you want to see any tutorials, because I am doing the tutorials, please let me know in the comment section below. Remember to always grease your drive shafts, and I'll catch you next time.